Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video, and this time I wanted to talk about something that I found a little bit weird, both in terms of something that launched this week and something that is coming next week, I believe, which is the new legendary difficulty options for Shattered Realm and Astral Alignment. The legendary difficulty hit Shattered Realm this week. It was kind of overshadowed by Festival of the Lost to the point where I didn't even know. Uh-oh, my light fell over. I didn't even know it happened until like a full day later, and then I got the pop-up for it, and I'm like, oh, I literally have heard zero people talk about this. So I did it, and so everyone was like, oh, it's actually really hard. Like, you can, I'd be curious to see you try and solo it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get a fire team because I don't want to deal with, bazillions of overload scorn and whatever. Like, I think there is a triumph for doing it solo, and yet the triumph you need for the seasonal title is just do one legendary clear of each of the realms. And you can do that with a fire team. So I did it with a fire team, and it was fine. I mean, it's a little harder, and my team and I weren't exactly the most cohesive unit, but we got through it. The real question here is just sort of like, why? Why do these exist other than for a singular triumph? Because from what I can tell, they are not very good to farm. So I wanted to read what they kind of wrote about this one, and then what's coming next week with Legendary Astral Alignment, to kind of talk about like what the purpose of this is and why it doesn't feel great, like that it exists, period, like, and that there's no real point to it from what I can tell. So they said, upping the difficulty. As many of you have recently discovered, there is a new difficulty option for Shattered Realm. You can pump up the power level requirements and tackle some truly worthy foes. It can get pretty frightening in there, so maybe bring some friends with you. The chests are dropping high stat gear, so it's certainly worth your while. Okay, so they're dropping high stat gear, but it's like a focused engram. So you're getting like a tier 3 focused engram drop from this. And the problem is, like, so you could do this with Season of the Splicer, where you would run something and they would give you high stat Splicer armor. The problem is that going from Season of the Splicer to Season of the Lost, we have gone back to this point where high stat armor is good in Splicer and bad here. So for whatever reason, there is a lower floor. There might be a lower ceiling too, but more often you will see like sub 60 quote high stat armor with this kind of thing, because like it just you're no better off doing this than you would be just focusing your 4 engrams a week, because you can at least pick the stat you want. Here you're getting like a random engram drop. So I got like a melee one, which I didn't care about, or you can get like a resilience one, and you can use the ghost to focus like another stat. But the problem with using the ghost focusing is, like, if you have recovery focusing on and it drops a mobility engram, it's going to get all screwed up because it's not going to give you the right stat balance. It has to be like you have a recovery mod on and it gives you like a strength, intellect, discipline one. Like, it has to be in one column or the other. But the point is like, overall, the high stat armor from this season is not as good as the high stat armor from last season. So it is not worth farming this in any meaningful capacity from what I can tell. Like, you're better off just doing at the very least, focusing your 4 things a week, and then going back to Splicer and focusing 3 of those or whatever that is, or running Splicer for drops itself. So that's not really a good motivation to do this. So then we'll move on to the Legendary Astral Alignment, see if that's any better. Next week, our 6-player activity is also getting a new difficulty. Astral Alignment is about to become a little more spicy. The recommended power is 1320, and there are going to be additional modifiers each day to keep things interesting. Loadouts are locked, so pick your weapons wisely. Also, failing to complete or wiping as a team sends you back to orbit, so, like, don't die. Legendary Astral Alignment modifiers, weekly taken, rotating modifiers. Denial, Vandals summon their shields more often. Ugh. Epitaph, taken, combatants generate blight geysers when defeated. That one's kind of funny and annoying. But Empath, enhanced radar, take increased damage from melee. Constant modifiers, champions, overload and unstoppable, equipment locked, match game. Wait, so there are no scorn modifiers, there's only taken modifiers? Okay. No mini screebs. So what do you get from overcoming these challenges? Besides bragging rights, there'll be an extra bonus chest waiting for you at the end. That is 3 total for everyone keeping score at home. And if you haven't secured the catalyst for Aegir's Scepter yet, these extra chests are more likely to hold one. Good luck. An extra chest? Like, it's not high stat armor. It's not a double perk weapon or anything like that. It's just another chest. And another... So there's 3 chests, but the first chest just drops world drops. That's it. That's free. The second chest costs currency to open, and it gives you either a weapon drop or an armor drop. The armor is always not going to be high stat. So the armor is pretty much instantly trash. And then the weapons are just normal weapons, but like you're not focusing anything. And then I'm assuming it's another secondary seasonal chest. So will that cost more currency to open? That would be kind of weird. I kind of assume it will, but it's not offering anything different. It's going to be, the potential for 5 trash armor pieces or 1 of 6 weapons you're looking for. So if this was like, okay, you're going to get a 2-stat weapon drop for this, like guaranteed, that would probably be worth farming, I would say. Like, I would farm for that, even if it was the full pool of all 6. I would farm for the potential for a tier 3 weapon. So that would be a 3-stat or a 4 perk weapon. I would farm for that. That is not what this is. This is just another chest where I guess you have more potential to get the rolls you want, and yet I kind of have all the individual rolls I want at this point, and like what I would like to see is like something cool, like, an outlaw Vulpecula with headstone and explosive rounds or something like that. Like, I already have one that's outlaw and explosive rounds, and then I finally got my outlaw headstone one. But like, I'd like to get more tier 3s, but those are hard limited to 4 a week with the current focusing system. And then this legendary system is just like more of the same. It's just essentially like you're running two astrals at once, but I don't think that's a very good farm. Like, I have only been running astrals pretty much as a requirement for the Savathine quest. Like, I'm not just farming astrals to farm astrals. That is not really a good use of time. I think, you're better off just running other activities, getting parallax currency, and then focusing engrams. Like that, it's a much better way to farm seasonal gear than running astral. And this is not changing that. I mean, I guess it doubles your drops, but not in a way that is remotely interesting to me. So I don't like this. I don't like the Shattered Realm high stat armor thing. This just seems like kind of a worse version of stuff we've seen in the past, both in terms of the high stat armor being lower, and then, I mean, I remember the Sundial days where you could finish that and you'd get a bunch of drops of, 3 perk weapons and stuff, like once you would unlock that node or whatever, and it just, I don't get it, man. Like, I don't know why they're being so stingy with this, and like, I guess, the answer is always they just want to extend playtime, blah, 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 like, this is a long season, but, like, they have not come up with a reason for us to farm this stuff, short of, like, achievements. Like, you want to get the triumphs for everything, you want to find all the secrets in Shattered Realm, you want to get whatever triumphs you need for both of these, and then some amount of stuff for the seasonal title, at least, which is, like, 1 legendary clear of each of these, but, like, after that, like, no, these are not efficient farms, like, even for seasonal gear. Like, you are much better off just sticking with focusing engrams, and these are not rewarding enough to be worthwhile. I will try it to see how it goes, and I think I have to clear at least, one of these astrals to get the seasonal title requirement, but I don't, this was supposed to be kind of a major event this month in terms of, like, something that's rolling out, but, like, I think this would be a lot better if Shattered Realm was rewarding true high stat armor, like, actual, like, minimum 60, 61, the ceiling 68, like, that would be true high stat armor, like Splicer level. And then Astral was giving out 3 and 4 perk weapons for legendary clears. That would be worth farming. This is not. So I just don't agree with the kind of motivations they put in place here, and I will not be doing these past the one time I need to do them for requirements. Actually, I've heard that Astral gives out 900 candy, if that's true, for the festival thing, so I have about 8,000 more candy I need, so I probably will be running Astral in the coming week here for that, but that's kind of a separate issue. So I don't know, this is kind of disappointing to me. It's not like the biggest of deals, and like, I've been playing so much, and like, I front load these seasons where I pretty much have all the seasonal stuff I want for the most part, so it's not like the end of the world, but this strikes me as weird because these rewards are just not worth the effort. So I don't know. We'll see if maybe, we have 4 months left in the season or whatever. So Maybe they will change things as time goes on and make things a bit more rewarding if they realize it's kind of underwhelming. But I'm just telling them ahead of time that this is already looking very underwhelming and they may want to consider changing it. But I guess we'll see. So anyway, let me know what you think about all this, and we will see what happens next week. But I am not really expecting pretty much anything to happen for a long time now, at least the rest of this month, probably into November. Because we are done with the story components, and I'm really not expecting that much to happen, period, until we get to the 30th anniversary in early December. So that's like 6 weeks away, so we got some downtime here, but we always knew there was going to be some kind of blank stretches of time here. But there's so many games coming out that we all have other things to do, and that's fine. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care.